today we are doing an heirloom and Vidalia onion tomato pie. Now you do not have to use heirlooms. Now these are heirloom tomatoes. This is a very wide variety of heirlooms. It's Cherokee purples, it's some of the yellow and the oranges. You could also use regular tomatoes. Don't feel like you have to use heirlooms. And you want to get a variety of colors because that makes the prettiest pie. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with these heirlooms that we've sliced. And we're going to slice a few more. Now what you have to remember about heirloom tomatoes and all tomatoes in general is that they're going to shed a lot of water. So what we want to do is we want to take these tomatoes and we're going to lay them on a paper towel just like this. And we're going to very lightly season it with kosher salt. You can use other seasonings if you want. Say you want to use garlic salt, you want to put some jalapeno salt on there, whatever you want to do, you can do. This is going to remove all the excess water from the heirloom tomatoes, okay? I'm also going to sprinkle it with a little bit of pepper. It's a good idea to go ahead and buy one of the prepared crusts that are in a tin. And I've got one right here. And what we're going to do is, because the tomatoes are so watery, we're going to go ahead and what's called blind bake this crust. And the way we do that is you take your pie crust and you're going to go ahead and put a little bit of a wax paper or a parchment paper inside, and you're going to take dried beans. Any kind of dried bean will work. The kidney beans, white beans, black beans, whatever you want, and you're going to fill your pie shell with these beans. And what it's going to do is this is going to kind of pre-bake the crust so it doesn't get really soggy when the tomatoes go in and all the cheese. You're going to put this in the oven, 350, 15 minutes. And what's going to come out is a fabulous pie shell that's been a little bit baked. And you're going to save your beans for the next pie. Now, what we're going to do is we have a mixture of 3 cheeses. We have Swiss or Gruyere, we have a Parmesan Reggiano, and we have a cheddar. And we've mixed it all together with some egg, some mayonnaise, a little bit of hot sauce, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start layering this pie crust with this cheese mix and with these tomatoes. So we're gonna start right now with a little bit of our cheese mix. And you're just gonna gently place it into the bottom of your shell. Now look, you don't have to use these cheeses. If you love goat cheese, you love blue cheese, you use it. You need to be careful you don't use cheeses that are considered very wet, like a fresh mozzarella, because it will actually drench the pie shell even more. So you want to make sure you've got some medium or hard cheeses in there. But if you like other cheeses, by all means, experiment with those. And now we're going to place our tomatoes just gently over this cheese mix, and you want to alternate your tomatoes, okay, so you make sure you get a nice full flavor. I'm going to use some of these minis because they're so fabulous and they are so sweet and delicious. And now we're going to do another layer. Oop, let's do some Vidalia onions first. Just sprinkle them. If you don't like onions, or if you want to use a different kind of onion, by all means use a different kind of onion. So we've got some more cheese, and we're going to do one more layer of tomatoes, okay? Now this is going to be the top of the pie, so I'm going to make it a little bit pretty by putting the tomatoes, and we're going to put some Vidalias right in the middle, and we're going to sprinkle some more of these mini heirlooms just for decoration. Now this is going to bake at a 400-degree oven for probably about 45 minutes to an hour. And you just want it to be firm to the touch. You don't necessarily want it to be bubbling over. You're gonna see that the tomatoes are gonna settle, the cheese is gonna melt, and it's gonna sort of all come together, and it's gonna be glistening when it's ready. Okay, so the heirloom tomato and Vidalia onion pie has been in the oven for about 30 minutes at 350. The way you check and see if it's done is you're gonna go ahead and open your oven and you're gonna look at it and you're gonna give it a little bit of a jiggle. It shouldn't move at all. It should be very nice and firm. Okay, let's check it out. Ooh, nice. All right, here is our most beautiful heirloom tomato and Vidalia onion pie. And my favorite thing to serve with this heirloom tomato pie is a beautiful piece of bread, maybe a little fresh olive oil, and a glass of wine, I think would be fabulous. Okay, so you can see that this heirloom tomato and Vidalia onion pie is very easy to make, and it's so fresh and it's so readily available. All the ingredients you can get right there in the supermarket. You will not be disappointed. Your family, your friends, and your guests will absolutely love it.